Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great start to the day. And we had a good Tuesday. I thought guys came out, especially early. You had really good energy today. Still working on consistency of the details in the finish. But all in all, I thought it was a real solid Tuesday. We just got to continue to push in every aspect, and still focused on our development, the energy level and finish of how we're going to work in our preparation, and just continue to build upon that. But all in all, good Tuesday. Got some good work against each other. Being able to keep the speed throughout the course of the week, and excited about continued progress that's in front of us here for this week.
Question will be Antoine Staley from
Through everything that you've been going through really recently, what is the number one thing that you're working on during practice? And also, how are you keeping players motivated during this time?
Well, motivation is for improvement, and it's something I tell players all the time. We are where we are, and we've earned the opportunity, good and bad, of where we're sitting right now. But our objective is no different today than it was day one, and that's to go out there and improve and to work to be the best version of ourselves. A lot of guys are getting new opportunities. Obviously, having to develop and grow at a very fast pace, and we have guys that are older players that have been through it, that are really pushing themselves and trying to hold themselves to a higher standard, and to obviously continue to prepare at the best level that we possibly can, so that we can go out there and consistently play at the highest level that's possible. And so that's our focus, and that's going to always be our focus, is to improve with every opportunity that's in front of us, and that's in all aspects of what we do.
Next will be Ira Schofel from Woodham.
In talking to Kenny and Adam yesterday, they said that the vast majority of players are doing everything they can to improve, but obviously it's not going to be 100%, probably like any situation. I know as a coach, like, you're trying to bring everybody along with the new direction of the program. Do you ever get to a point as a coach where you say, look, it's just not going to work out, or do you keep pushing that as long as they're still here?
Oh, you always push to invest in the guys that you get the opportunity to work with, and obviously work for, and that's something that's important to me. I got into this profession to help make a positive impact in each one of these players, to help make a positive impact in how they play the game. You'll continue to build and develop them competitively, and then also to be able to impact them, so to put them in the best position to be successful when they're done playing the game. And so there's never a point that I'm going to sit there and say, well, no, that this just isn't going to work. There's players that I've been around that have made that choice for themselves. But if I get a chance to go out there and be a part of what we're doing, I'm going to give everything I have to the players, to the coaches that I work with. Sometimes there's decisions that are made that force my hand in where we're going with an individual, or what the opportunity is. But if these guys will come out and give me everything that they have, they're going to get the exact same thing back from me, and we're going to do all that we can to improve. And some guys are further along than others. Some guys have a better foundation probably that they're coming from, or different drive and expectations that they've been used to. But at the end of the day, my objective for them, and my ultimate goal, is that we improve from where they are, and that's part of the process. Is we have to meet these kids where they are. I would love for all of us to be further along. I'd love for all of us to have a better sense of how to apply that through the course of a day, through the course of a week, and obviously with our game day opportunities. But we're pushing towards that, and that's I've seen a lot of good steps in that direction. But obviously we're not where we're going to be, and obviously we're on that path to it now.
Next will be Perry from Colorado.
Coach, football's already an emotional game, and then you add in this season on the field, off the field, fans form all up, like screaming on Twitter, these kids getting it from all directions. How do you think you all have navigated that emotional roller coaster of this season so far?
I think that's part of every year, and it's, really in college football today, with social media and all the access to players, what they have to deal with and kind of grow through is really challenging. And I think that being able to help them manage the good and the bad. You see it work in both directions, and that just being able to stay focused on the day that's in front of them and the work that they have to put in and invest in the decisions that they make and how they're going to respond to whatever might be out there or whatever circumstance that shows up. That's what makes football such a great sport, because it does mimic life, and it's something that what we're experiencing this year. It's a challenge, and it's a challenge every single day. The sacrifices these kids have to make, what they have to do just to play the game, it's hard. And then you couple that with new expectations, a new standard in preparation, a lot of other factors that that we're really outside of these guys' control. But that's going to show up sometime, and when they have families, whenever they're when they're making a living through a profession, and there's a lot of things that this is my job, and the fact that I sure didn't sign up to see COVID and quarantines and all those things. Nobody expected that to happen, but at the end of the day, you have to respond to it, and that's what makes this game so wonderful. And I told the guys, I told them at the end of practice today just how grateful I am for the opportunity to coach them, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge every day, but it's going to help prepare them for their future, not only in what they're going to face in the real world, as you'd say, but it's also going to help them in the course of games and who they are, and obviously the players are going to become.
Next will be Pat Burnham from the Osceola.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, the next challenge is NC State. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen from them off tape that impresses you?
Yeah, they're an explosive football team. I think, as you look, they've had to deal with some adversity this year. There's some injuries, and, on the defensive side of the ball, obviously at quarterback. But they are a team that's very aggressive in what they do. I think offensively they did a really nice job of being multiple in their attack. They can run the football, they can push the ball down the field. They've got some special plays that you obviously got to keep you on your toes of what you're doing. I think you look at them special teams wise, they're gonna be aggressive. They had a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in their last contest. They've blocked 2 punts already throughout this year. They're gonna attack, and then defensively it's the same as I've known Coach Gibson. We actually worked together for a year as assistants, and his mindset and approach. They're going to attack in all that they do, whether it's pressure packages, whether it's the mentality and how they play. Got a lot of respect for him, and like I said, they've had some injuries there in the defensive backfield that have had to kind of rearrange their lineups at times. But these guys, they play really hard, and so we're going to have to be on top of our game in all aspects, and excited about the challenge, and obviously having to go back on the road. It is it's one of those things that makes college football great, is when you leave and you have to go to a different place from what where your comfort is, and make sure that you bring the proper focus, energy, and obviously mindset to what you have to do to go be successful.
We'll go back to Ira.
You told that story yesterday about Asante, and Coach Fuller talked about him pretty glowingly as well, just as a guy, his approach to improving. Is he a guy that you would think other players could see and try to emulate the way he approaches the game?
No, absolutely. And, we're as a first-year staff, you look for that response, and Asante has that in him, and that's who he is. Obviously trying to make sure that we're providing the structure and developing that and continuing to control that and focus that in all aspects. And that's something I've been so very pleased with. You look at the production that he's had throughout this year and the improvement. He was a good player last year. There's no secret about that. But I think he's taken his game to a higher level, and I absolutely believe it's because of how he prepares. It's how he prepares throughout the course of the week in the meeting rooms. The challenges that he puts upon himself and that we put upon him. I mean, he gets coached hard. I mean, and he embraces that. He wants that. And so when you're a younger player, or even if you're an older player, you see a guy that's had production and that is truly, I just say buy in. I mean, is that he's already bought into that process and he wants that. He coach, push me harder. And if he can continue to bring that mindset and others see that, and that's it's a great example to be able to use and to see how it correlates to success on game day.
We'll go back to Pat from the Osceola.
Hey, Coach, keeping with the buy-in theme and building a culture, you pay attention to a lot of the older guys when it comes to that. And one of the guys that has stuck out to me has been Emmett Rice. He seems to have just gotten better as a player every single week. And have a senior do that, given the challenges of COVID and the new staff and the struggling during the season, what does that mean to you as a coach?
Pat, that's a great observation and a great example. I know I mentioned Emmett, I guess it was last week. It's been impressive to watch his development. And I'll tell you, going back through our tour of duty in the spring, I mean, I challenged Emmett and, really just, on his mindset, his approach, what he was able to do physically, through the off season to help, put on, I think he put on near 18 to 20 pounds, in the off season through his work ethic and obviously the investment he was pouring into his body. But even as the season's gone, he's had to push, and there's a lot of things that we are asking him to do. That's that is a constant. He's having to constantly sacrifice to give more and to push harder and to really embrace the preparation aspect of it. And I'll say probably the last 3-4 weeks, you've seen him really take that turn and just choose to do so, and to work to do it every rep. And it's not perfect. It's not it's not a finished product, but then you see how that applies on game day. And if you can take that example for somebody that's already been here. He's on his 4th, 5th year right now, and you were able to see that growth, from him. I mean, that's the example that you want to be able to use. And I love coaching Emmett. I think he's one of my favorite people. Just in when he sees it and he knows it, even when he makes a mistake and the response of how he knows he could have been better or what he could have done, and then to go apply it there on the next rep. I think it's definitely helping him in all areas.
We'll go back to Ira.
Because of this strange year in terms of those guys not losing any eligibility, have players even expressed whether or not individually, and I know not it's binding at this point, but have you had any conversations or have any of the older players who maybe were seniors this year, and I know there's not a lot of them, have any of them expressed whether or not they plan to come back, or do you even have any of those conversations until after the year?
No, absolutely. And there's when that rule was first passed, I had a couple players that even sought me out to say, because guys know. And on the field, the on the field result in our record right now is not what anybody was hoping for. It's not what anybody wanted. But the real guys, they understand what's in front of us. And I say that, and I say it in a way of guys that are willing to make that commitment, that are embracing the challenge, that see the structure and the plan that's in front of us, and want to be a part of that. And some guys, they're all in different places. And at the end of the day, I am, and I've always been for our players in what can we do for their future and how can we prepare them for their future. And, we'll sit down after the season and be able to evaluate where everybody is at. We'll explore the options that are available to us and for us, and then we'll be able to move forward. But, we're going to have, I fully expect some guys that normally would have exhausted eligibility that have a strong desire to be back. And, there's no secrets about it. They know how we're going to work. They know what's in front of us. They know the continued challenge that we're going to have, not only this year, but every year moving forward. It's about growth and development, and we're gonna push. And so I'm excited. And I think with that is when you see some of these guys that are taking some real strides and making a jump, here in how they're performing and how they're playing, because they understand what it takes, and they're starting to gain confidence in that. And, we just have to do that more consistently, with old players and young players, all of us involved.
All right, we're going to go a couple more. Next will be Austin Cox from Tomahawk Nation.
Hey there, Coach. Hope you're doing well. I just want to ask you, you guys have had a lot of success offensively, starting the game on the opening drive and also the opening drives in the second half. Is it something you can kind of look at and build around, knowing that you are having a lot of success in that area?
Well, yeah, Austin, kind of in reference to, I guess it was Monday, kind of going to a similar question. I think that's something that shows up, and it should build confidence in what we can do, in the sense of, you go out early and your fundamental approach, obviously the details, you go out there and you're able to have that early success executing at a high level. And, the thing that has shown up to us, and like I said, being a young offense, when something negative happens, when there is a bad play or the other team just makes a play, just continuing to trust in what you need to do and how you need to do it to go out there and to really put yourself in the best position. That doesn't mean we're going to win every rep. That doesn't mean that teams aren't going to make a play. But, I think as you watch games, and as we've, as that's one of the things that we've shown our guys, constantly, is just, continue to trust the fundamentals. Don't go out there and allow one play to change everything that you're doing in what in your rules, your assignments, your footwork, your fundamentals. You got to trust that. You got to build upon that. Now, there's going to be adjustments that happen in each game, and we've adjusted, and obviously that's going to always be a part of it. But the thing that has shown up is that with all the right intentions, guys start operating outside of what their responsibility is or how to do it, and that's where some of the major mistakes show up with the negative plays and things that put us even in a more challenging situation. I think you've seen that. You look in the second half, and I know we talked about it yesterday, but the last three games, the first two, I thought we moved the ball pretty solid in the second half, but we would get down in the red zone, and then there would be something that would happen. It was shoot ourselves in the foot, penalty, mistake, negative play. We weren't sustaining drives because of these things that showed up, and then this last game, like I said, it was a challenging situation in a lot of regards, and we were not we didn't help ourselves, and the negative plays really hurt us. But then we started allowing that to affect our assignments and just base fundamentals against a challenging matchup, and that obviously didn't help. But it does provide confidence that what we can do, we just need to be consistent in doing that throughout.
Last one, we'll go back to Pat.
Hey, Coach, this is probably a better question for last week, but I'll ask it anyway. You're halfway through your first season in the ACC. What are your thoughts on the league halfway through the league schedule compared to what you thought about the league coming into the season?
Well, I think coming in, you see a league where anybody can beat anybody. That it's a challenging league, top to bottom. Obviously. This year, there's some teams that are playing, elite at the top, and but even through that, you see that if you don't bring your A game, anybody can get beat at any moment, and that's one of the things that our guys understand. It's really what I expected. There's a lot of good coaches, a lot of good personnel that shows up, on each team, and really comes down to the execution and the execution and the discipline and details that show up in each game and each matchup. And so I've been impressed with the league up to this point. Obviously we know we have another opponent in NC State that is a very capable football team. You see that they've played at a high level throughout the season, and so we've got a great challenge ahead of us once again this week.